going back to the creativity side of it, like how much do you drive like from an inspirational standpoint? Like you said about the jump off point, do you react to what you're looking at? Like, are you always looking for the next idea, or is it more of you're kind of like a way back and see, let me react to what I'm looking at?
I'm very impulsive, which is I've had to warn like my team about it. Like I will. It's funny because this happened recently. I had to have this conversation with the team, and I had to let them know I'm like, when I say I'm gonna like if I'm gonna do something, it could be like creative from a business standpoint, like a business dynamic that I see an angle on,
Right.
or a project or this. Like I will scare the shit out of them because in like I'm talking like if I'm going there, and I have to do that in my mind. Like I have to go, like I have to literally almost convince myself that I'm going to that end mark, and I will go through all the processes in my head going through it, and they're like it's very overwhelming. But that's my creative process. Is I just if there's inspiration, I like just go with it. At one point during the quarantine, like my garage looked like an old Italian like garage or villa because there was like canvases everywhere. I just started painting, and it was nothing more than just it was incredibly relaxing, and I was like, this is really addicting and fun.
And how'd that, talking about the challenges we've all had with COVID, how did that change? Like, how did you kind of innovate during that time? Because it was extremely challenging for all of us.
Yeah.
And then being in your mode, did you use that to create more inspiration? I know you've adapted incredibly, right? You're coming out on top, but like, how'd you use that? How'd you kind of springboard that, turn it from a negative to a positive?
Oh man, the first few months were rough just because it was like just pure business mode.
Chaos.
Yeah,
Chaos.
you just holding down the fort. And then after that, you kind of like found your footing again, and I was like, what am I gonna do, man? So I think then I started doing the podcast. I started painting. Like traveling was a big thing for me. Like I love traveling both for work and pleasure, and I've been on a plane in a year, so it was just like
They boxed you in.
time was just like, all right, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna end? So painting, funniest thing ever. My friends laugh about it now, but it's like I just got really big into the electric bike craze. Like I bought two electric bikes in, and
I've heard of you rolling around South Miami with a bike.
Yeah.
Is that the electric bike or is it a
the
regular
electric bike. Yeah, I got a Super 73, and it's like a little dirt bike, but it has pedals, but it moves.
Do I have it insured?
I don't think you need to insure it.
We'll talk about off the camera. I gotta get you insured.
You do.
You're too
actually.
valuable to get hurt, dude. I gotta
That's
take
true.
care of you.
Creativity happens from emotion. If I'm driving, if I'm on the bike, it's almost like the ideas are just flowing through me. And then, I love architecture, so I look at homes. Like I just kind of like looking at all the modern homes and stuff. Like a big interest in architecture. I was actually almost an architect. I think just like trying to find other ways to just consume as much stuff as possible to replace like the traveling or the experiences that we weren't having. And it was tough, man. Like they were just
it was a mental grind for everybody. We all coped with it
different times. Everyone, like I was telling somebody the other day, like January, February this year were actually mentally just a drain for me because it was just like it was towards the end of the marathon where you're like at mile 20,
right.
And you're
and everyone always have this whole like reset. The new year comes, it's like brand new, and that first couple of weeks hit you in the mouth.
Well, that's why I put the Diddy quote on the building, because I was like,
which is awesome, by the way.
Thank you, man. I just wanted to, I don't know, man. Like I just wanted to see something every day that just like reset my mind because, or whatever. And it was just, or even something that people maybe would see and find funny or whatever. I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would spend so much time explaining to people that it wasn't pot related. But, but it's funny, man, because I think once you explain it, yeah, like they love it. They're like, oh, that's great. That's great. But yeah.
Let me ask you, as far as any business owner, right? In your advice, as far as telling their story, because what you offer is multiple different verticals, right? A different kind of aspect. Like how important and how much of a check should every business owner in your opinion, have as far as how they're telling their story? Like how do you kind of check yourself, right? Because everybody that owns their business thinks they have, dude, if you start your own business, you're obviously super confident, right? You're an entrepreneur, but you have to believe in your product. You have to. If not,
I believe in my product. I don't believe in myself, though.
Okay, explain that.
No, I don't know. I'm messing around. I'm like, no, what you said, super confident. I'm like,
well, I mean, if you're going to start on your own, right, regardless of
course.
investments and going out, like there's always like this, and that's why I go back to your role about helping people tell their story. Sometimes like how much you have to kind of catch that 50-50 of like you could tell it better or you having a good story, because sometimes you could paint the best story, you can create the best picture, the best video, the best dynamic, the best marketing kind of plan, but if you have a bad product, right, is it your fault or not?
No, that's not my fault at all. That's not my fault. But what I do try to look at, like when okay, for instance, you guys were the perfect example. So I'm like, this isn't going to be an insurance film. I'm not going to do, I don't want to come in here and just do like a documentary, like kind of thing.
Because nobody cares about insurance.
Yeah. So like what's the dynamic here? Like what is like I started thinking, I try, it's hard, man. Like I just start going more philosophical. I'm like, I feel like a good story is, for me, I've always kind of done this. It's like, what's the story? Who are the people? And what's the X factor? And what I mean by the X factor is like, for you guys, it would be the fact that you guys were all athletes and have like that competitive mindset. And,
right.
And so I knew that I had to integrate that there. But then I started thinking like more philosophical, like why will I always bring my insurance stuff here, even if I'm paying a little more? Why do I do it? Because you guys are cool and you guys will answer the phone when I call, and you guys are genuinely friends of mine, and I want to support my friends, and they make me feel like family, and I start going through all those things, and I'm like, now how do I take that and translate that in a film? Because I think that's it. Like figuring out the essence of a business, why it's unique, and what's its unique angle, and then what's the philosophical angle behind it. And I don't know. I think that's kind of like how I approach those projects where I'm doing it completely from scratch.
I think that the what's so powerful about kind of what you do too, and people underestimate in any form, is the video content. Like most people kind of shy away from it. Obviously you can crop whatever filter, any picture you want.
Yeah.
But like videos actually have that next level of connectivity, right?
Yeah.
Like you're able to kind of carve out through everything else. Like you could fake it, I guess, for whatever reason you want to do it. But I just think video content is such a powerful medium in any form, and people kind of shy away from it for whatever reason. I don't understand it. I know it's a little uncomfortable, but you gotta get better at it.
Well, it's interesting. It's like I hated creative writing growing up. Like I hated it to the point where when I got older, I had to really learn how to get better at it because I have to do treatments and things like that. But I hated creative writing, but I loved shooting video and doing films like that. So I think, to your point, there is something like, I grew up with a group of like really, really, really funny, charismatic, and loud friends. And their personalities to me just popped off the camera, and it was just funny. Like it was funny to document this stuff. And then, and then the idea that you can like edit it and do all that stuff was so cool. So I don't know, video was just so much more interesting than, and I love photography. I really do. I think like I just love the concept of just like even just stuff like that's there. It's like this beautiful photography in black and white. It's like classic, iconic, this, whatever the thing, or even, pictures of like candid photos of celebrities. I just love those. There's this guy now that Jake Gyllenhaal was like having pasta in a boat in Lake Como, like on his way to the film festival. And he was like with his agent and stuff, and it was a real photo. It wasn't like staged to be cool for GQ. It was like a real photo. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. So I love photography, but video just has another dynamic, man. There's just like hearing voices and speeches. It's almost like creepy, but in an endearing way.
Correct. I think it kind of just it's almost like that no filter type approach, and like with so much noise in the world, that gives you that extra crisp, right, opportunity to kind of connect with somebody.
Or even like with, like my mom videotaped literally like our entire lives, like 50 tapes at my mom's house. And it's weird, man. It's weird to see videos of people that have passed away and hear their voices, and not to get like too weird, but it's like you're capturing, you're literally capturing moments in time. Not to say that that's what we're doing with the commercial work, but I think that's the power that medium has.
Let me ask you, last thing too, like in your opinion, like the power between websites and social. Do you have to pick one or the other, 50-50? I mean, I kind of feel like most people now are kind of
Social,
going to
man.
the social side more than the websites.
I feel like our Instagram is our website,
Right.
which sucks when you realize that you haven't really given it much love in a while.
No, yeah, no, but you're right. But it's something that people
Yeah.
gotta talk about as well. Like that's kind of the focus, right? Most people are. I can't remember the last time I went to a website. I can't remember it.
My dad's like, you know, always says like I'm the, you know, when he talks about the marketing sometimes that we do not a good job, he's like the shoemaker whose son doesn't have shoes, or like whatever. Like it's like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it 100%.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it's kind of like I developed, and I guess the matters too, like who's your audience, who you're trying to connect with. But we were talking about the other day. I'm like, you know, obviously our website there's always things you can improve, and you're always
course.
evolving as a business. But I can't remember the last time I went to a website.
I mean, we're on sites a lot, but it's because we're like searching for things or looking for content. Like we live on the computer. For us, our website's important because it's like the easiest way to really see like our content. But we've had to like revamp our Instagram significantly in the last few years because that really is where so many leads are coming from.
I'm excited for you, for what you're doing, like your future. It's cool to be able to not only connect as friends, but as just watching you and we do business together. What you did for us, like how you've kind of emerged from COVID and like your story and kind of the grit, all the things behind the scenes. Like you're one of the most creative people
I appreciate
that
that.
I know. Entrepreneur, business owners. Like I'm happy for you. You have my support.
Thank
Dude,
you,
I'm
man.
whatever
You know,
I
I
can do
love
to-
you guys, man. Really, you guys all like. I always tell Fern, man. I'm like just watching you guys. I mean, even like some of the stuff you guys post in your stories, like man, I'm legitimately blown away. This is the thing, man. Like this is a really big thing for me personally, and I've decided like to be more vocal about it. I intentionally call other people that are business owners. Like I literally go out of my way to do this to congratulate them on the successes and things that I've seen them do, and then remind them that I've appreciated watching their journey. And it's not like bullshit. Like I genuinely am so blown away by it.
I do the same thing. The same way I feel about you, 100%.
Because like it's just, man, it's so hard, man. It's such a mental marathon, and you really have like this like small fraternity where you see other people doing this, and it's like it's amazing. And you know, even to the point where like I've had so much satisfaction out of it that even with my team, I still want them to feel like they're part of that entrepreneurial journey, because I think that's a big thing with this generation. Like one thing I notice is, you know, there's a lot of things where you're like left scratching your head a little bit, but then I think they want that entrepreneurial journey feeling. And I think that if you can find a way to like do that with the team within your organization,
Bring them along together.
it really like, man, it everyone feels that like hustle pride or whatever. But again, like I just think there's just a lot of negativity out there, like people that don't, because of maybe their own insecurity or whatever, that don't want to see other people succeed. But on the contrary, like I literally love watching people in Miami grow, like this community grow, people grow. Like, you know, dude, I could care less. Like, you know, this what level in this. I always find that super silly, man. Like, I think it's just amazing just watching people overcome the challenges of being a business owner and doing it.
We all have the same. It's like I go back to like support your supporters, and if most people did that, we'd be a better place. And then if we just kind of focused on why we're all alike, right, and not different, because everyone seems to focus on the 10%, but like we all got the same challenges, the same different issues.
Well, no, and it's like I remember a few years ago having a conversation with, I think it was Fernie, and he was just struggling to figure out through something, you know, that he was challenged with that week. And I, for whatever reason, in that moment in time, I was confident about that topic and I was able to help him. And then recently I needed his advice on something and he gave me incredible advice, and I was insecure about that one specific thing. And so like, I value that, man. That's amazing. And yeah, like we're all going through the same thing at different times. So the perspective of the other individual is priceless.
It's huge. And to have that authenticity and that like really good support is what really everybody should kind of, it's going to elevate each other. It's like, we're all in this together,
dude,
man.
like you're, if you think about it from a standpoint of like a community, man, it's like this city, you're going to be a phone call away from people that are going to help you be able to do things. And the more that you empower them, the more that they're in positions of power. And I don't think people. I haven't personally experienced like the big league thing. Like people get big league on you. Like I don't know where that originates. I think that originates.
I don't even know. I mean,
people don't do that. So it's like, you know, I feel like, you know, friends of mine or people that I'm friends with, all that, push them, get into higher levels. See like this city continue to grow and utilize each other for those things, man, and help us, you know, help each other out.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I'm excited to see Murs next level.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean, for any comedy bit, I'm in, man. As long
I'm down.
I know the jump off, bring me in. Let's do a little mockumentary.
For sure. Yeah, that was actually something that we wanted to do, a mockumentary. Actually, me and Alex started writing a mockumentary in our heads. Like, we got to put pen to paper on. We want to do a mockumentary on Riverboat Playhouse in Kendall.
Okay.
Remember that old place that was.
It was like the original.
Yeah.
The original Chuck E. Cheese.
State of the art animatronics. I mean, you would think that bear was really up there playing the jamboree. Is it the?
I do.
I don't know.
I'm in, man.
Yeah.
Let me be a guest star on the show.
Done.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for
sure,
coming on and doing this, dude. I'm excited for you, man. Appreciate you.
Likewise, man.
Thanks.